Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and peaceful. My name is Phoenix. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be exploring the spiritual benefits of sun gazing. This is one of my favorite activities, which I try to do at sunset or sunrise when it is available to me. Of course, if you want to learn about the technique, I'm going to explore that in another video. But let's focus on the spiritual aspect today because that's what draws many spiritual seekers to sun gazing in the first place. So when you sun gaze, the very first thing that happens is you essentially experience stillness in the body and the mind because we are undergoing the practice of trataka, which is gazing on one point to the exclusion of everything else. And so this has the same effect on the mind as it does on the vision. It sort of blurs out everything around you. And this also leads to a sense of gratification and inner peace. So this is the second spiritual benefit that is derived from the stillness of mind. You are more content, more readily, and this starts to spill over into other aspects of your life. And so if you practice sun gazing consistently, which I highly recommend, if you do it just for even 10-15 minutes once a day, 5 days a week, it's going to, over time, give you a greater sense of contentment and feelings of wellness that stream through your body. And there actually are reasons for this. The main one has to do with the light that is coming in through your eyes and not just through your body. So we take in vitamin D through our bodies, but we are receiving a different shade of that light through our eyes. And there isn't actually a term for it. I can't give you a scientific term. I don't think they've identified it yet in science, but the yogis know that if you take in this light through your eyes at the right time, in the right way, then you will receive energetic benefits. It will enhance not only your well-being, but it will give you vitality because in essence, you are connecting with the light of God. We're connecting with a star, which is basically the purest form of light that our eyes can perceive. And so in the process of connecting with that, you are indirectly taking in, or directly, I should say, taking in, absorbing that energetic component that it represents, okay? And so this leads to the next spiritual benefit, which is a pranic influx. So an inflow of pure vital force that streams through your body, and you'll actually be able to feel this as a tingling sensation that runs through your body. It's like the hairs on your skin start to rise. You'll start to feel more energy in the upper chakras, in the throat, and in the third eye, specifically in the crown. I notice it more so in my crown and my third eye the longer I do it and the more still I am as I do it. And I should say that while you're sun gazing, it does help to be grounded. It's not absolutely necessary. And by grounded, I mean having your feet on the earth, so in the sand or at a park or wherever it is, take your shoes off and feel that energetic grounding connected to both the earth and the sun simultaneously. This will enhance your ability to take in that pranic flow of energy into your body and to expand it into your consciousness. And so this leads me to the next spiritual benefit, which is a greater sense of wholeness, a connection to God or a higher power. And this comes about spontaneously, naturally, and it's different for every person. Every person is going to experience it in a different way, but there's that feeling of wholeness that we experience energetically, and it filters through our consciousness, and we start to express that in our daily activities. And this also leads to a greater sense of connection with other fellow human beings and all other beings in all other universes, because as we send our consciousness, direct it to the light of the sun, it naturally wants to expand because that is the essence, that is the nature of the sun, is to shine light on everyone without bias and to do it without any expectation of anything in return. And so when you align with that principle, when you align with that law of nature, you are fundamentally changing your cellular structure, your entire energetic makeup, to where you are able to perceive things with a greater awareness and be able to understand that everything is connected, and to be able to understand that there is no separation, that it is only perceived. And the same light that is touching your body is also touching everything else on the planet simultaneously. Well, not maybe at the same time, because there's night and day, right? But you get the point. And so there are tremendous spiritual benefits, but they need to be digested over time. If you just go and you look at the sun one time and you sun gaze for a few minutes, you'll feel something. You'll feel some of that tingling. You'll feel the energy coming into the body, but you might not feel that sense of unity consciousness or a greater connection to God. Whereas if you do it every day or a few days a week for several weeks or a year or longer, you're going to start to notice that it is a full-on spiritual experience. It's just like with yoga or meditation practice. When you first start, you might be thinking, there's not really much to it, right? It's just it's fancy stretching, you know? But then when you do it and you start bringing your full awareness into it and you start breathing consciously, what happens? It transforms the practice, and that transforms your life, and it transforms everything and everyone around you. And so there's something to be said about consistency. And maybe it means you set a discipline and you have a schedule. Maybe you live near the beach, maybe you live on a hilltop, maybe you don't, and you just find a way to discover how to get to where the sun is rising and or setting. And it's really beautiful both times of the day. They call it the golden hour at the end of the day, right before sunset, that last hour. And you'll notice, even if you're not gazing at the sun, notice in that hour how you do, if you are out in nature, you will feel a greater sense of peace and calm, and you'll feel this wellness that's coming into your body. And you don't even have to do anything in particular, just be in the presence of this golden light. And so there is definitely some power to the early morning sun and the early evening sun, and they're both equal, and they're slightly different but beneficial in their own ways. So either way, whatever way you can manage it, try to find some time just after sunrise or just before sunset, to put yourself in front of it and try to gaze at it and see what happens. This is all experiential. And this is what the yogi says. He or she says, I'm going to experience this for myself. I'm going to hear other people talk about it, but then I'm going to actually go out and do it and try it and see how it works for me. And so for me personally, when I gaze at the sun, a lot of times what I notice is there's this beautiful purple ring that is around it's on the outside, the perimeter of the sun. And if I focus on that and let my vision blur and soften in my heart, I can feel an immense energy that pours into me. And it only needs to be for a couple of minutes for me to feel the full benefit. But some people will want to do longer. And there are many traditions where they will build up over time, and they'll build to maybe 30 or 45 minutes. For me personally, I don't feel like that's necessary. But again, that's getting back to the technique itself. I'm focused on the spiritual aspect. So that's all I've got for you today. I wanted to mention the retreat that I will be helping to host here on Maui, September 10th through the 18th at Haleakua. It is called Heaven on Earth. There's going to be yoga, meditation, lots of food. There's going to be people from all over the world. There's going to be facilitators from all over the world. It's going to be an amazing retreat. I'm going to link to it down in the description below. So maybe if you hear the call, you should check it out. Have a beautiful rest of your day.